From the IDF's major advancements on the ground in Gaza City to the summit Arab and Muslim leaders held on how they will respond to Israel's strike on Hamas's terror leadership living and existing in Doha, Qatar. Let's discuss all of it. Joining us now to help us make sense of it is Brigadier General Reserve Danny van Buren, former Chief Reserve Officer of the IDF and founder and chairman of Nikraim Ledegel. Thanks so much for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Overnight, massive explosions were heard in Gaza City with confirmation 3 different divisions of tens of thousands of soldiers will actually be operating in the area of Gaza City within the next few days. How significant is the timing of these major moves by the military?
Yeah, I think we've come to the point that we realized that the attempt to combine both military means and diplomatic measures and in terms of negotiations to try to find a way to finish this war are not meeting our goals. And the only alternative which is left to Israel is to do the final move in terms of eliminating the rest of Hamas infrastructures and leaders in order to create a new situation on the grounds where Israel will be able to live peacefully without being threatened by Hamas. And I think this is the main logic of this operation, both to finalize the war and take Hamas out of power and to release the hostages. And in these two means, to create a new narrative that, terror doesn't pay off in terms of what Hamas committed on October 7th.
And going back to the pressure that Israel is currently putting on Hamas, what other options does Israel even have on the table at this point in time to pressure the terror group into a deal? Because it seems as if, Hamas terrorists are staying in Gaza City, but what other options come after this if this doesn't work?
I think this should work because, we did try to find a way, as I mentioned before, to combine the diplomatic means. I think we should realize that the major goal of any terror organization is to create chaos and fear within the society that it is fighting against. Regarding Israel, we see that the inner conflict in Israel is working on the benefit of Hamas, and we should all remember this, in order to not to let Hamas gain his achievements that he wishes to do so. And we should admit that the current pressure being put on Israel by the international community, mainly using the bias campaign of starvation in Gaza and so on, is also a burden on Israel. So the best way for us currently is to finish the war in order, to create the situation on the grounds when Hamas is defeated, and this will enable all of us to work on a new international infrastructure of Gaza and being able to create new order in this area.
Sure. So as the IDF approaches Gaza City, it's pretty much brand new territory. It's brand new urban territory for them. What's usually the first steps or the initial steps they take when they enter a brand new location like this?
I'm not sure it's a brand new. There are some neighborhoods which the IDF so far was not present in, mainly because we were suspected their hostages are being held in these locations. But as we all see during the last 2 or 3 weeks, the IDF puts a lot of pressure by using Air Force in order to take down towers and buildings that can be a threat to the ground operation in terms of being able to observe the IDF movements and even eliminate or hurt the Israeli soldiers. So these means were all committed within the last 2 weeks, and the second attempt used by Israel and the IDF is to try to separate the local population from Hamas. And part of the reason that we saw last night at the beginning of the actual work on the ground and the tanks movement and so on was to show the local population that we mean business. And it's not just a drill. So the best option for them would be to evacuate to the humanitarian zones, and so they won't be hurt. This will enable the IDF to fight in an area which is not populated and really put an end to the Hamas activities, both against Israel and against, to be honest, against its own population.
Thank you so much for your perspective on all of this. Of course, we're continuing to follow all the developments in real time as all of this is consistently moving from day to day. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.